Crystal microdermabrasion is a piece of equipment that projects crystals, which is corundum powder, onto the skin. It projects. It's a very powerful piece of equipment. Projects crystals. Anybody that has discoloration, anybody that has a oily skin, anybody that has imperfection on the skin, anybody that had acne scars, anybody that has any problems whatsoever on their skin requires and needs a real crystal microdermabrasion machine. And I tell you why. When you use a crystal microdermabrasion machine, you are projecting crystals. The crystals are very hard. The crystals and are small have the ability to go and abrade and remove all the impurities that are inside the pores that you have. So if you have sebum, oil deposit, if you have blackheads, any of that, if you have any of it, that microdermabrasion, crystal microdermabrasion will take it out. It can do it only because it has a very powerful suction that sucks out the debris, the dead cells, the debris that are on the skin. And this is a piece of equipment that is the only equipment, only FDA approved equipment in America that has the classification for crystal microdermabrasion, for a microdermabrasion treatment. Then came Chinese knockoffs. And then came knockoffs in general, where people started to sell and say crystal microdermabrasion. They came, oh, diamond microdermabrasion. What is a diamond? First of all, there's no suction in a diamond microdermabrasion that can suck dead cells, that can suck anything out of the skin. What you are doing is you have a metal that has some particles glued onto the head of the metal, and it's like sandpaper. It scratches your skin. It does not abrade your skin. It cannot suck anything out. And then you have the HydraFacial. Again, another misinformation to tell people that this abrades the skin. It's wonderful. It is nothing else as if you take a hose and project water onto your skin. That is not abrasion. That is not how skin is treated. You don't remove impurities. You don't remove the top layers of the skin. You don't remove anything by projecting a hose of water onto your skin. This is all gimmick. This is all selling to people the Brooklyn Bridge. And I'm sick and tired of people doing this, and I'm sick and tired of people selling other people the Brooklyn Bridge and letting people believe that this is going to be America. And I will tell you something, and I think that everybody can relate to what I'm saying. Everybody can relate to what I'm saying. There's an old saying in English, I believe it goes like this. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. And I want to tell you something. The fact that you have a piece of equipment that works and it does amazing things for your skin, you don't need to change it. Just because people sell equipment. America is very, very big, and spas in America are very, very big on having lots of machines and selling lots of machines. It's moving the economy because they are selling lots of machines. I would have no problem if they were selling lots of machines under the condition that these machines are useful for human skin and that these machines work. But when you are selling to people the Brooklyn Bridge, and you are basically spitting in people's faces, you are throwing sand in people's faces, in people's eyes, and pretend that people don't see what they see. And it's highly on time that American people should open their eyes and should realize that not everything that glitters is gold. Not everything that glitters are diamonds. And then just because somebody is selling, just because a company is selling, just because a Chinese manufacturer puts a piece of shit on the market, And then there is the manufacturer, then there is the importer that brings it in here and sells it, and then there is the influencer that knows shit from Shinola, because 99.9% any influencer knows nothing about skin. Ladies and gentlemen, it took me a lifetime to achieve and to know what I know. It took me a lifetime of going to school and studying. My beauty, whether it was now, hi Turkey, my beauty, whether it was now or it was 50 years ago, did not give me the knowledge. It's my brain, my education that gave me the knowledge. It's my passion to know and to desire to help human skin. And I never went, and I never was a follower, nor did I follow any hype. And what is happening today, I am looking at American people and I think, are they all sheep? Is nobody using their brain? Is nobody really thinking? Just because somebody says so, thank you for that, somebody says so, it is so? It isn't, ladies and gentlemen. Use your brain a little bit. Do a little research. Go research. It's so easy. Everybody has a phone. Just go and research. Find out what is what. But I can categorically tell you that a crystal microdermabrasion is only one. And a crystal microdermabrasion is a real machine, is a real medical device that is a real powerful machine that can abrade the skin. And as a matter of fact, if I would hold long enough, my piece of my handpiece, my glass handpiece, which projects crystals onto the skin, and I hold it in one spot, I can make a hole going all the way down to my bone. So this is a piece of equipment that works. This is a piece of equipment that delivers. But when you are coming and you are selling a diamond that scrapes your skin, doesn't do anything, you might as well take a sand from the beach and put it on your face with a little water, and you achieve the same results as you achieve with a diamond machine. And you can take your water hose and put it in a little hose and then just spray it on your face and you will achieve the same thing. But is that a microdermabrasion? Is that abrasion? Does that remove the sebum, the oil deposit, the discoloration on your skin? No, it can't. As a matter of fact, when you use the diamond machine, you actually stimulating more discoloration on the skin. Because all you are doing, you are scraping like with sandpaper. You are scraping the skin. You are scraping, you are not abrading. You are not removing. You are not sucking. You are scraping. You are going on in circles and scraping the skin. And you are stimulating. So if you are a dark or black person, you are actually stimulating more melanin production because you are irritating the skin. And that's not the point. So, you guys, you have to be aware of it. You have to open your eyes a little bit. You have to think about it. If you really want results, it requires of you a little bit of investigation, a little bit. If you don't know, if you never heard of me, if you don't know, you've never seen me, you never heard of me, you didn't watch the thousands of videos that I made, then do your homework. But I am telling you, stop being led like a sheep. Just because somebody says that it is so, does not mean that it is so. And just because somebody says, oh, these are diamonds, they can be zirconias. So, ladies and gentlemen, it requires a little bit of thinking, and I want everybody to know, if you are black, if you are dark, if you're white, if you have discoloration of your skin, if you have acne scars, if you have blackheads, if you have any problem that you have with your skin, the only thing that will help you is crystal microdermabrasion. Nothing else. No diamonds, no hydrojet, no other jets. Nothing else. It ain't broken, don't fix it. And crystal microdermabrasion, again I will repeat, is a medical device. is approved by the FDA. And as I told you, if I held it long enough on my hand, I could go and create a hole through my skin, through my bones, through my ligaments. This is a very powerful piece of equipment that you need to know how to work with. However, when you do, nothing comes equal to what it can do for human skin. And ladies and gentlemen, the first crystal microdermabrasion that was approved in the United States, I was the first person after it was cleared by the FDA in Florida to purchase. I purchased 2 machines, paid $50,000. I purchased the first 2 machines in Miami Beach because the machines are wonderful, because the machines deliver. And when I laid my hands on the machine and when I treated my skin with the machine, I said, this machine will come and go with us for many, 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 many years. And this is 30 years later, and I'm still saying the same thing. And I'm still using the same crystal microdermabrasion machines. Because if something works, don't change it. Just for the sake of making a buck or selling something. And just because a pretty girl tells you, oh, this did wonders for me, she is getting paid. She's making a commission. And if she's in today's days, maybe not even a real pretty girl, maybe an AI created pretty girl. Today you can't know. Soon there will be no pretty girls. Soon influencers will be out. All these pretty stupid girls will be out. They are going to be replaced, which they are actually already, a lot of them replaced with human look-alike AIs. And they will say anything you program it to say. So guys, I need you to think about this. I need you to do a little bit of work. You know, the time is now for you to do the research. Because as we advance with technology, and I want you to know that too, and it's the reality, we can't stop it. As we advance with technology, what you hear today, what I say to you today won't be around in 10 years. Won't be around in 10 years. In 10 years, you will probably not be talking to human beings. And whatever you will be talking to AIs. Beautiful AIs, but you won't be talking to human beings. So all I am saying to you, take my words to heart and think about it, that today you are still in a position that you have the ability to talk to a real human being, to a real professional, that you today can still figure out what's real, what's not real. And you still have the tools. That won't be the case in 10 years. In 10 years, you will be talking to robots, you will be talking to high-vis, you will be talking to AIs, not to human beings. So I am imploring on you guys, again, if you do have a problem with your skin, if you're a black person or if you're a white person, if you are an Indian person, or you're a Middle Eastern or Mediterranean person, and you want smooth skin, the one thing that will give it to you to start with is crystal microdermabrasion. This is the one thing that will do it, because it will abrade the skin, and only a crystal microdermabrasion. No other machines short of crystal microdermabrasion that uses corundum powder. That's the only thing that really can deliver, that really can abrade your skin without stimulating discoloration, without creating havoc on your skin, without scraping your skin. Because you control, the operator who operates the machine controls the depth of the treatment. So this is still the only machine. I very clearly remember 30 years ago, people that used to come to me, people that had keloid scars or had scars from surgery, and they wanted to remove it. And crystal microdermabrasion did that because it's a very, very powerful machine. And we would remove the scars. Of course, this didn't happen overnight. but you didn't require surgery. And we would remove the scars or elevation, or if it was at the beginning of keloids, because this is what the machine is meant to do. You cannot do it with anything else. So don't be fooled and don't be misled. The diamond is a microdermabrasion. They are not microdermabrasion. They are simply machines that, like sandpaper, scrape your skin. Don't do anything for your skin. Don't suck anything out of your skin. They don't have the ability, short or scraping. And HydraFacials, the same thing. So it is just the gimmick, the gimmick, the game that they play in America that they sell you. Now, why do I say this, and why am I speaking so adamantly about this? I'll tell you why. I was born in Eastern Europe, okay? And I lived in Eastern Europe, and I traveled to Eastern Europe. Hi, Duffy. I traveled to Eastern Europe, and as such, when I was born in Eastern Europe, Eastern European skincare is very different. Eastern European med spas are very different from America. In America, everything is hyped up. Okay, just listen to this. Eastern Europe, med spas are supervised by doctors. In Eastern Europe, till today, when you go to a spa, it's not like a hyped up place with a lot of machine and fancy girls, beautiful girls. No, when you go in Europe to a spa, it's a real spa, it's a medical spa. What is a medical spa? You go to a spa where they have natural streams of water. They have they have mud, natural mud that comes from the ground that are being treated. So for instance, I was born in Czechoslovakia. Czechoslovakia has 3 famous spas. There's one in Slovakia that is very well known in Europe, and that's for people, for joints, for bones and arthritis. And then in the Czech Republic today, because they split, you have 2 in the Czech Republic. One is for the lungs and one is for the heart. And these are all spas. They are spas. They are medical spas. But these are treatments that and you get skin treatments with them, and you get inhalation, and you get a mud bath, and you get a mineral water bath, and you get mineral water inhalation, and you get mineral water treatments, and you get mud treatments and skin treatments, and they treat the body not independently. The body is treated as a whole, inside and outside. So I am definitely an authority when it comes to talk about spas and things that work and don't work. And when I come to you, you guys should actually cherish my information that I share with you. Because when I come to you and I tell you, don't fall for the diamond, don't fall for all this equipment that they are selling you, I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying. I know which machines work, which machines don't work. So this is actually extremely, extremely important for everybody to understand. You know, I'm writing now a course for the Middle East, for Middle Eastern and Arab aestheticians and doctors and dermatologists. And I'm writing a course. And in the process, as I write, you know, there's a lot of things that come to my mind and in my memory from my past. And I put a lot of information in this course. And as the process comes, things come to my mind that in America, they would never know about these things. They would never think about these things. But natural approaches to human skin, natural approaches are absolutely in synergy with your body, and they work with your body. And they should go sort of, if you approach a condition that you have in your skin, if you approach a condition that you have in your skin, if you approach it in an alternative medicine, in a natural way, and you combine it, for instance, together with conventional medicine, you go somewhere. Here, I give you, for instance, an example. Psoriasis. Psoriasis is a skin disease. There is no cure for psoriasis. This, as a matter of fact, 90% no cure for anything when it comes to human skin, when it comes to diseases. But let's just talk about psoriasis. Because, guys, there's no cure for acne. Simple condition, no cure. No cure. But let's just talk about psoriasis for a minute, right? So psoriasis in America, the best thing, either they give you psoriasis, they give you cream, or they put you on into a blue light. That's it. There's no cure. But psoriasis can be very debilitating, and so for many people, debilitating for many people, very embarrassing. Where there's a natural approach. The Dead Sea has a lot of minerals, because the Dead Sea you float, so it's all of salt. That mineral that is in the water of the Dead Sea has an effect on psoriasis. And so people who suffer chronic psoriasis fly to Israel, fly to go and get they go for 2-3 weeks, and they get every day, they dunk in the salt, in the Dead Sea, for hours. And then they get the Dead Sea mud, which is put all over their body. And they do it for about 2 weeks. And then they get a reprieve for 5 weeks. But you didn't hear me talking about any chemicals, right? That's nature. The Dead Sea is nature. The Dead Sea mud is nature. Hi, Daneni, hi. That's nature. So nature has a lot of potential. And before we had all these medical treatments, before we had all the antibiotics, before we had everything else, there was nature and people lived. And maybe they didn't live as long as people live today, but I think that people did a lot with nature, and people, their bodies were healthier, their skin was healthier, because people did a lot with nature. I can talk to you till King Baktu about this subject because I know so much about it. Ozone therapy. I am a huge believer of ozone therapy. And ozone therapy is oxygen that puts through an ozone machine. And ozone will destroy any bacteria, any fungus, any gangrene. So ozone therapy in America is not advertised, and there are only 13 states in America that let you do ozone therapy, but it's sort of a very gray area. But ozone therapy, for instance, and it's natural because you can't patent the air, because all it is air. Oxygen is air, so you take the air and you push it through a machine that pushes ozone into the air, and then you put it onto the body. So for instance, in Europe, there are by 90% less amputations from diabetes than there are in America. Why? Because they use ozone therapy. Why do they use ozone therapy? Because ozone therapy will destroy the gangrene. So somebody who has diabetes and he has a toe that has gangrene, so they do for 3-4 weeks, every day they do ozone therapy, they put it back, they put like a Ziploc bag over, and for an hour they push oxygen with ozone into that, and that ozone destroys the gangrene. And instead of amputating the leg is rescued, and it's only natural, it's only ozone therapy. So, so it's the things that do work. That's why I say I am an authority to talk about these things, and being outraged about the things that is being taught and given to American people who are unsuspected clients, who just go like sheep, like horses with blinders, and they don't look right and left. And they have no desire, because they are so made to act so without questioning. Just, okay, there was a beautiful girl that said that this laser machine that she has on the hand, this works. I saw a commercial yesterday on Instagram, and I know better, so I just moved on, because I would have said it was a Chinese girl, and the Chinese girl was marketing on Instagram. And she said, I can tell you the difference between IPL and laser, which one works. And I wanted to scream and say, shit, None of it works. None of it. It works for the Chinese manufacturer, it works for the reseller, it works for whoever is marketing it here. Because you cannot have a handheld machine that you put into the power outlet that gives you a power of minimal voltage compared to a laser machine whose power output is 3,000 watts. Do you understand the difference? 50 to 3,000? Like, how can this be compared? But again, because American people are unsuspecting and people believe anything that social media tells them. And people don't want to educate themselves. And so they sell this machine for $699.99. Right? $699.99, $700, but it's only $699.99. And it's $699.99 that you threw away in the garbage because it doesn't work. Because lasers cannot work when they are handheld devices. A laser, in order for a laser to deliver a laser beam into the skin, it has to have a very strong power. It has to be able, the power has to be able to go through the handpiece into the skin. If that handheld lasers or IPLs, whatever they are, would have that power, 3/4 of the people that use it would be dead and blind. Do you know, if you ever go for a laser treatment, that the patient has to have goggles and the operator has to have special glasses? Why do you think that is? Because the laser is so powerful that if the laser beam would hit the eye, it would blind the eye. So you have to be protected. So can you compare something that you buy at PetSmart for your cat, the red light, which is a cold laser, and that will reduce your hair? I spoke about it few days, Elijah, you know that. Few days, I actually put a screenshot of a woman promoting, or AI, who knows what it was, by a company, and saying 95% of your hair will be gone after one use. Like, how stupid can people be? How stupid can people be to believe that 95% of your hair can be gone in one treatment? Like, the stupidity is what's driving me crazy. Because if people would do their homework and would check a little bit, and we research it, how can it be? Well, first of all, it cannot be, because if you know anatomy and if you know how human hair lives and works and exists, you know that you cannot kill 95% of human hair in one treatment. Why? Because human hair grows in cycles and in stages. And a full hair cycle on your face is 3 months. And in these 3 months, there is only 2 weeks when the hair is in the growing stage, in the anagen stage. And that is the only stage that a real laser or electrolysis can kill the hair. Why? Because in these 2 weeks, that particular hair is surrounded by water. And you know if you know, the human body is 70% water. So when the hair is in the growing stage equals water. And you have to have water, the hair follicle has to be surrounded in water in order for distraction to happen. So when there is water, laser beam goes down, and laser beam cauterizes the blood vessels here. Laser beam goes down to here, and it cauterizes, if you can see, the blood vessels, red and blue down here, you can see it, to the hair follicle. Then the hair follicle dies. But this only can happen once for 2 weeks out of 3 months. So how can somebody advertise 95% in one treatment? Do you understand the stupidity? This is what makes me so angry. The stupidity of the people that are buying. And I showed it. And I said, I don't know how there 45,000 people watched that video, and I was reading through the messages that people leave, and there were women said, I want this, I need this. And I wanted to scream. I said, you have no brains? Nobody has brains, nobody thinks. how things work in life. Ladies and gentlemen, it takes 9 months to make a baby. And what this company is saying, that you can make a baby in 1 day, not 9 months, in 1 day. That's basically what they're saying. So yes, so I am the authority. I know what I'm talking about. And there's a very good reason why I am so angry and why I get angry and why I talk to you. I talk to you only because I want to give you education. Because I want everybody to understand not everything that glitters is gold. And I want everybody to do their homework. And I want everybody to do some homework before spend their hard-earned money. Do some research. You have ChatGPT. You can ask questions. Dig deeper a little bit. Find out why it works, how it works, for real. Is it gimmick? Is it camel? Is it a lie? Can you do a comparison? Ask questions. For God's sake, it's only few clicks that you have to do on your telephone to ask questions so you get information. It's super important, because otherwise, guys, I won't be on the losing end. You all will be on the losing end if you are not going to do your homework and if you are not going to research. And believe you me, there is a reason when people go to school and when an esthetician goes to school, at least in Europe. I don't know about American schools. I don't hold American school in very high standard, because they still lack a lot when it comes to skincare. In America, they're very good in selling, buying machines, and that's it. But when it comes really to core, like understanding how skin works and how everything that starts in your gut, how that affects everything in your body, we can then talk. But right now, that we are not there yet. Right now, it's all machines, selling people machines, selling people products. Nobody understands why, but they are just selling. Let's sell. So, but let's say that estheticians that are either trained under me, that trained with me, that bought my courses, or estheticians in Europe, they are qualified. They go to school. They go to school for several years. They have to have their education, their knowledge, before they put their hands on a human being. And it's super important, because an esthetician is a professional. And an esthetician, as a matter of fact, an esthetician will be the first person for your defense. Will be the first person that can identify if you have cancer, if you have skin cancer, if you have any lesions, if you have any problems. Because an esthetician is the person that will see your naked skin. So an esthetician has to be really trained properly, which you don't get really in America. You get it in Europe because it's a very old profession. But an esthetician is the one that can rescue your life. Because an esthetician sees your face, an esthetician sees your body, sees your back. And an esthetician is trained in Europe to identify what kind of cancer you might have. What is this? Is it a brown spot? Is it not a brown spot? Is it a melanoma? Is it not a melanoma? These are people who are trained. And these people know what they are doing. So this is a profession, and it's a very serious profession, and I think that more respect should be given to people who treat people, who do skincare treatments. But again, and I don't want to be biased, but maybe I am biased, and maybe it is supposed to be like this. If I can make a recommendation to anybody, if you have never done a facial, what I would suggest, if you go for a facial, I tell you what you don't do. You don't go to a fly-by place. You don't go to a mall. You don't go to a department store. You don't go to a place that are chains, like chains of facials or chains of laser. You don't go to any of those places. What you should seek individual, small, private skincare clinics where the esthetician, the owner of the clinic, is Eastern European, whether it's Russian, Czech, Slovak, Polish, Hungarian, Austrian, German, British, Bulgarian. You will fall on somebody that is knowledgeable and qualified. Absolutely. Do you know, for instance, that aromatherapy, which is a treatment by itself, do you know that aromatherapy in Great Britain and England is actually considered a mainstream treatment, that they treat people that Great Britain has very good curriculum and teaches people who are only learning and treating holistically patients with aromatherapy. And it requires 3 or 4 years to go to school to study the benefits of herbs. So yeah, so if you really don't know where to go, I told you where not to go. So no chains, like chains of lasers, chains of skincare, that's all chains. And they're hiring people because first of all, they're hiring people, they have, let's say, a diploma. These people, or they don't have a diploma, because in America, in certain states, if you work under a physician, you don't have to have a diploma. If the physician owns the place, and then any person can go and work, they put scrubs on, and then what do you know? You've never done it. So I'm giving you a good advice. Look for an Eastern European or European trained esthetician. You can usually figure that out by their name. And go to a private clinic. Don't go to a chain. You go to a chain, you will become part of the chain, and you will get shit in plain English. You will get. Because chains have zero interest in helping you. They have only one interest. And that's the bottom line. That's the dollar. So just take my words to heart, guys. Start doing your homework. Start doing research. Start asking ChatGPT questions. And maybe you will become wiser, you will become smarter. And you will understand that if you go to a microdermabrasion treatment, a diamond machine is not a microdermabrasion treatment. And a hydrojet is not a microdermabrasion treatment. And an IPL, intense pulse light, is not a laser machine. But they sell them to you as lasers. They sell them to you as laser machines. And a handheld device that you buy for $700 will do nothing for you, will never destroy your hair. For sure not, as they advertise, 95%. If anybody wants to see, you can go and look at my previous videos that I made. So anyhow, I just wanted to share this with you guys. And I hope that, it will benefit somebody. In the long run, look, I share with you, I talk to you, I give you the information. Eventually, one day I will eventually stop, and then, I don't know how many people are out there today in America that have the qualification, the knowledge, and the expertise that I have. I don't think that there are too many. And so take my information and take a lot out of what I say, because these are tools and that's information that will be very beneficial to you for the rest of your life. Now, for those of you who don't know me, because I am on several social medias at the same time, the best place to find my information, I have tons and tons of videos, and I talk about any and all subjects, is YouTube. So Eva Taub Skincare is my YouTube. So it's YouTube at Eva Taub Skincare. Go and look at my videos. Look at my videos. Look at my posts. Learn, study, educate yourself. It's an open encyclopedia for human beings and for skin, whether it's unwanted hair, whether it's hormonal imbalances, whether it's discoloration, anything and everything pertaining to human skin, I talk about. Whether it's constipation, I talk about it. Whether it's discoloration between your inner thighs or under your armpits, I talk about it. So YouTube is the place to go. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much. I hope my information is beneficial to somebody and is going to open your eyes. And if you think that it's valuable information, please, by all means, feel free to share. And until next time, ciao. Elijah, honey, bye, darling. Bye-bye, ciao. 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 And ciao, YouTube. Ciao.